My name's Laura Crawshaw. I am the founder of the Boss Whispering Institute in Portland, Oregon, and my specialty is coaching abrasive leaders and also training other coaches in that practice. And I put together a podcast, which I hope you will enjoy. This is just sort of a short introduction describing what that talks about. Let me define coaching abrasive leaders very quickly. These are individuals who are charged with formal or informal authority, whose interpersonal style rubs people the wrong way, whose interpersonal style causes distress in organizations sufficient to disrupt the organizational operations. So that's the general definition I'd like to share. And I think most coaches have encountered abrasive leaders in their practice, and certainly in past employment situations, many of us have been in situations where we worked with individuals who we would term abrasive. Now, we can all be abrasive, but these are people who engage in a chronic pattern of abrasive behavior, such as being condescending, overreacting, over-controlling, making threats, or even more egregious behaviors in the workplace. And these individuals present quite a challenge to the coach because generally these are not people who see themselves as abrasive, nor do they seek out coaching for that. So generally they're referred by those above them. In my podcast, I talk about a number of dimensions of working with abrasive leaders. Basically, that these individuals who lack the ability to put themselves into others' shoes and see the impact of their behavior. Why do they do what they do, and how do you work with them? So I hope you find the podcast helpful. I would certainly encourage you to contact me if you have further questions. I thoroughly support the work of the IOC in bringing information to coaches. And even if you don't choose to work with abrasive leaders, I hope you find the podcast helpful because inevitably I think you will encounter defensiveness in some of the leaders you work with. And so my hope is that you find this helpful. And again, feel free to contact me. So one question I'm often asked is, how did I get involved in coaching abrasive leaders? Well, I started my coaching practice way back in 1994, and I've coached over 400 abrasive leaders, and I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning. But over time, I found that certain practices worked. And so I went back and did doctoral research on this to really understand what was going on to carry this forward. And that's how I really evolved the method and my understanding of coaching abrasive leaders. The bottom line is they cause suffering in their organizations, suffering of coworkers, suffering of the employer, and many times they themselves are suffering. So the focus of the method is to relieve suffering in the workplace caused by these leaders.